Hi testing folks, welcome to Confirmic. Confirmic has come up with this new version release Creator 4.6. In this new version release, users can see new enhancements and integrations being implemented which will benefit the users in enhanced and faster test automation process. So let us see with each of these new enhancements and integrations which are implemented. Coming to the enhancements, we will see that the first major enhancement is with respect to automatic structure diagram creation. So Confirmic has integrated a new import utility called as import web page scan, where users can scan a web page and capture the information of the objects by with a click of a button. Then users have the choice to select the desired objects as per the current scope of testing. Users also have with this new import utility to scan multiple web pages in a single session. With this new import utility, users can create structure diagrams automatically for all the saved objects and also save the object locator information as annotations. The new import utility also provides users to cancel the scan session anytime and restart from where the user has left. So the next enhancement is with respect to the new property for the structure diagram. Within this structure diagram for all the widgets, users can see a new property called as annotations. With this property, users can view, modify, delete the object locator information which is saved during the web page scan and as per the requirement for the specific application development lifecycle. Users can also create annotations for other standard Selenium locator types and provide the value manually. With these new properties, users can also expand the usage of annotations to provide any other object metadata for any other purpose. So coming to the new integration implemented is the test management tool Qtest. Now all the confirming users can now have the ability to export the test cases to the Qtest tool as well. So let me walk through you all with these new enhancements and integrations in the creator. So let me start the walkthrough by creating a new project. So within this wizard, uh, I'll give the project name as demo. I click on empty project. So with this new empty project gets created. So in order to use this new import utility, import web page scan, you need to right click on the model, select the import option, and within this import sources list, you can see the new import utility has been added. So select the new import utility, that is web page scan, click on next and select the project. Then in this page, by default the confirming is providing the browser as Chrome. Then in the URL field, you need to mention the application under test. So I am considering the Parabank application here. This Parabank is an ideal banking application software where we can see different types of widgets. For example, the customer login form enclosing the username and password as text boxes. Then there are login buttons, hyperlinks. Also, we can see the radio buttons and the drop downs. So considering this as an ideal software for the testing, so let me take this URL, copy this and paste in this URL field provided. Then in the structure diagram name, by default the name will be as web page scan input, but you can always change it as per the requirement. So I am mentioning it as st1. Click on next and now click on scan. So you see that the Chrome pop-up window has opened and the scanning process has begun in the backend, covering all scanning all the scannable elements. And once the scanning has been completed, we can see that this grid, you can see all the scanned elements are populated. So this grid encloses the group name, the object name, which encloses the name of the elements scanned, and then the XPath has object, then ID name and values respectively, which represent the object locators. This entire scanning process takes minimal amount of time. As you can see now, the elements have been populated. So you can select the elements as per the current scope of testing. So the selection can be done in two ways. Either you can select the main group. Say for example, the login. If I select the main group, so if I expand it, all its child elements are selected automatically. and users have also the choice to select the individual elements instead of the entire group. So in this button group, I can select the individual elements such as the home. So once user selects required elements for his current scope of testing, then user needs to provide a page name here. In this case, let me provide as landing screen. Once the page name has been provided, user needs to click on save elements. So once user click on save elements, all the elements which are selected are saved, and user can go for scanning the new web page, and all the elements of that page are populated here. Also, you can observe here within the log folder, once the user clicks on save elements, so all the selected elements are saved in this JSON file with the same structure diagram name provided. In addition, as you can see the message here, which is an intimation given to the user the number of pages scanned and the total number of widgets selected by the user. So once the elements are selected and the elements are saved, user need to click on finish button, such that with just a click of a button, all the saved elements are imported into the SD and SL file. As you can see now, the saved elements are imported into the SD file, and its corresponding the object IDs we can see in the SL file. So these elements are represented in the same format as we observed in the website, that is the username and password, which represented as a text box. They are represented in the same format here in the SD file. So the user need not to create each of these, and it has been so this is how the new import utility benefits the user in this new version release, that is the all the scannable elements or the elements of the application under the test are created automatically in this SD file. So going forward, we see that even the drop downs have been implemented in a similar way, and for which the enumeration values are also represented, and this is for both radio buttons as well as the drop down, and even the buttons and hyperlinks are represented in the same way as we observed in the website. So coming to the SL file, now within this SL file, we will see that for the different elements, that is, for example, considering here the username text box, we said we will see that the XPath has been provided, and also the other object locators, that is the Selenium name. So depending upon the elements, their object locators have been scanned. For example, considering the other text boxes, where we will see that the two object locators have been taken into consideration, that is the ID and the name. So it depends upon the elements being represented in the website. So for all the elements which have been taken into account in the SD, so if for each of them we can see the object locators and the XPath being provided. So now let me show you how these new features, the enhancements which have been implemented, will impact the total end-to-end flow, for which create activity diagram, and a little human intelligence is required, and it also depends on users as they wish to create the activity diagrams as per the current scope of testing. So let me quickly create the activity diagram now. As you can observe now, an activity diagram has been created with the requirements for the current scope of testing, and the fill form has been filled with valid credentials. Let us go for generation of test cases. So now with just click of a button, the test cases are generated, and in our case we will see that only one test case has been generated. So now let's export the test cases, for which we require scripters, and which can be added by right clicking on the DC, selecting the scripting package. So from this list of scripters, I'll select the robot framework scripter surname Java. So now let's render the test cases for the robot framework scripter. And this test running also takes place in minimal time. So once the test cases are rendered, we will see a test case folder, within which now we see the robot framework folder has been created. Now if I try to open this object repository file, as you can observe now, with MD, the all the object locators for each of the objects or the components of the elements have been provided here, and these object locators export is possible with the implementation of this new import utility. So going one step ahead, we can export now the object locators directly into the script itself. So let me show you by using the surname JavaScript. So coming back to the creator, so let me export the test cases for surname JavaScript, and as mentioned earlier, in least amount of time now we can able to see the other folder where the test cases have been rendered, that is for surname Java. So let me come for the confirming modeling perspective for better viewing of the output scripts generated. So within the surname Java, we see the source folder enclosing the page objects and the test suits. So within the page objects, we see that the landing page Java contains the object IDs. As you can see now, for the element or the object password text box, we can see the object ID has been provided. So this is how we can directly export the object locators into the scripts. So with this, we can eliminate the OR files from the framework and the other associated files related to it, thereby reducing the maintenance task. Now coming back to the SD file, we will see the other enhancement, that is regarding the annotation. So for all these widgets which has been created, such as the username, the text box, the access mode groups, or uh, going further for the drop downs. So for all these widgets which have been created, we can see within the list of properties a new property has been added called as annotations. So considering an example for the password, we can see that the user has the ability now, yeah, for modification or addition or deletion of new annotations as per the current scope of testing or particular application lifecycle development. So, considering for an illustration and a requirement where a new annotation has to be added, such that which can be done by clicking on add annotation, and within this dropdown we can select if the requirement is ID, and we need to provide proper annotation value, say 123, and clicking on save. So here it is mandated to save the SD file as well, so that it reflects in the SL file as well. So we will see now that whatever the changes or the modifications done for the annotations within this SD file gets reflected directly into the SL file. So as you can see now, for the password text box where the changes has been made for the annotations, the ID has been reflected here. Now let us see the new integrations which has been implemented, that is regarding the Qtest test management tool. In order to export the test cases for the Qtest platform, we need to add the Qtest integration, which can be done by right clicking on the DC and going to the scripting backend, where within this list we can see the Qtest scripter integration that has been added. So select it and click on finish. And once you click on finish, we'll see within this list the Qtest scripter has been added. And for exporting of the test cases, user need to provide proper credentials and configure this Qtest scripter. So which can be done by double clicking on it. As you can see now, within this Qt scripter, so the configurations can be done for access configuration, which has multiple fields which needs where the credentials need to be provided, from URL to parent token, and also need to provide proper project ID, as well as if depending upon the requirements, user can either go for creating a new module or can use the existing module. And moreover, user can now have the uh, power of approving the test cases directly from the creator. That is, if the user checks this approve test cases checkbox, then all the test cases exported into the Qtest platform will be approved. So this reduces the manual task of approving the test cases in the Qtest platform. The other configurations include of providing proper field mapping file in XLS format. Once this entire configuration of the Qt scripter has been done, then user can proceed with exporting of test cases by clicking on export test cases button. As you can observe now, the test training failed due to the initial requirement, that is of filling the mandatory fields for the Qt field mapping file which has been generated, so which can be found within the test cases folder. So now, as you can see now, within the test cases folder, for the Qt field mapping file has been generated, and within which all the mandatory fields needs to be filled. So this is the uh, Qt field mapping file where for each of these field provided here, we need to provide the field values from the allowed values. So once this task has been done, user needs to save this file, and user needs to click on export test cases button again. And if the all the fields have been provided with proper field values, then the test running gets successful, and we can see the test cases being exported into the Qtest platform. So let's see how the test cases appear in the Qtest platform. As you can see now, within this Qtest platform, the test cases are exported with the test module name provided, as in this case test. And we can see, since we had only one test case generated, so we can see that the test case has been exported successfully, and also it has been approved, which can be observed with this green tick. Followed by, we can also see that in this test case properties, all the values which are provided are populated here, and also the required test steps have been entered into this tabulation. So these are the new enhancements and integration implemented in this new version release Creator 4.6, thereby helping users with enhanced and faster test automation process. Thank you.